Hey guys, how's it going? I thought I'd just do another quick video where I started another new park because that's what pretty much everyone else is doing, considering it's a new year and everything. And I had a pretty cool idea for what this park would actually be. If you've ever been to Universal Studios or even Downtown Disney, or now Disney Springs, what you see them do is they'll actually have it all around the lake. So the park has a bigger footprint, and it also has a pretty good view from everywhere in the park. Right now I started working on the main street, which is actually relatively small because of the lake, but I had a really cool idea to put like this sit-down restaurant in the middle, which I kind of experimented with. I ended up just making it what I thought would be like a candy shop, but I ended up actually right here redoing it a couple times. I wanted there to be outside seating, which I'm still working on. I'm gonna find a way to make tables and everything, and it ended up being a much larger building footprint than what I thought. I actually wanted to make like a working kind of interior. You can see I laid down all this the ground path because I wanted to have guests go in and out of it. But the way that I did it is, instead of actually setting up like a whole actually made interior, I end up just leaving it the way it is and just having them walk through a door. The only problem with that is that the door doesn't really move, so it really just looks like they're clipping through it, but I don't really mind. Right here I was messing around with whatever different objects I could use. I end up actually going for a more kind of colonial looking building. I looked up candy shops online, and I pretty much decided that this wasn't really what I was looking for. So I spent a lot of time working on this huge window, because a lot of times you'll see in these candy shops they'll also have windows, but it never really turned out to be what I wanted it to be. I just ended up scrapping the whole building. I just completely deleted it. Later though, I'm actually gonna try and fill up this whole kind of little square with different buildings. What I have planned going on right next to it is actually a clothing store, and then towards the back of it I actually put in some information booths where guests can buy whatever you call them, the express passes. You can see right here I started using the concrete to actually make what I realized would be what this building would be, where it kind of looks colonial. And I didn't really know what I could use to make that look, but I think the concrete turned out fine, especially with how much I put on top of it. You don't really notice the concrete look. See right here I just used this little thing, I'm not sure what they're called. It's supposed to be a handrail, but everyone pretty much uses them as liners on the buildings. It took me a really long time to find the plants, but eventually when I found them, I think I started just copying this cutout pretty much across the whole building, so it didn't take that much time. The one thing I don't really like about the plants though, you'll see, is they're really repetitive. You have that one little leaf or branching that kind of sticks out from the bottom, so I really had to kind of deal with it. I didn't want to, because as you see as I start copying it, it's all you can really notice is that same repetitive leaf pattern over and over. But the problem is we don't have any other that look like it. So what I'm hoping they add in the game later is actually changing plants and objects. Like when I place down one tree of one size, as soon as you press it, you immediately have another tree of the same size, but it looks different. Right now we can get around that by just rotating the trees at odd angles or just 90 degrees and it looks fine, but it would be nice even if the game just rotated it for us. Right here I started putting in some speakers. I really like the music that the game has in the vanilla state, so I didn't really have a problem with that. I actually really enjoy, there's one song, I think it's called Welcome to Planet Coaster, and it really sounds like a real theme park entrance song. On this side of the building, I actually kind of go with the Christmassy theme. You'll see later I'll start putting lights on everything, and I wanted to space out the windows a little more so it was less repetitive. I think the hardest thing for me was making the building entrance to where it looked nice, because I didn't really want to, I don't know how to explain it. I didn't want to have an archway, because if you have an archway and you look inside and it looks weird, then it kind of takes away from the immersion. So I wanted to have a door that was big enough that the guests could easily go through the path without clipping through the walls. But I couldn't really find one until there was only one, and I ended up using it on pretty much all the buildings on the main street. It's this one right here. But I color them different for each building. One of the biggest problems I have in this game actually is the lighting. It looks really good, but you need a lot of lights, unless you do what I did here, which was take the colorable lights, the event lighting, and then actually put it under the ground. And I actually really like that because I can give each little space its own individual color, and it gives it a lot more detail than I think it would if it didn't. You can see right here I was messing around. I was trying to find really any good archway, but I realized I couldn't really do anything with it, so I just take pretty much the same one and I put it on the other side. I wish we had doors that looked half open, or I wish we really had more transparent stuff like windows and everything, but for right now we pretty much have to make the best of what we have. I did mess around with the lighting a lot. I like the Main Street kind of lights going throughout this. You see a lot in Disney. If you look at pictures of Disney at night in the Main Street, you'll actually see this same kind of lighting, and it looks really nice. The only thing we don't have is the reflection on the roads, but I think it looks fine for what it is. I wish each light bulb put out more light than it does, though. That's probably my biggest gripe about them. Also that they turned off in the day. I wish in the day they were kind of darker. Right here I started adding in the top story. It's really less of a story and more of just to make the facade higher. I was messing around trying to find different ways to line it off, but I just ended with a piece of wood. So one thing I do like with this game, and that I haven't seen a lot of, I know Silver got a lot of comments about this. He would actually add in like the roofs. He would make the back of the roofs look less detailed, like just kind of flat. They didn't have a back, it just kind of peeked off. One thing I do want to do with this park is actually make it realistic in a way that everything behind the scenes is just kind of concrete. It's more utilitarian behind the scenes. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm going for. So you can see I just put in the tar pitched roof. I didn't worry about the top of the building at all, and I put in some AC units on the top. I think ultimately it looked really, really nice for what it was. This is definitely one of the best buildings I've ever done. It took me about an hour and a half, so I think from here on out I'm going to spend more time on the buildings because I really like the detail that went into this. Surprisingly though, it was only, I want to say 300 parts I ended up with about, but I'm using this same grid to do another building, so that'll probably bring it up to at least 1,000, preferably because it's a bigger building. I really like the way that it came out right now, but I'm still experimenting with colors and the signs. I'm not really sure what to do about that. I wanted to name it something confectionaries, but I can only really fit confections on the sign. I'm not sure what I can do about it. I don't really like either. I wanted to light up the sign, but you can see the text doesn't actually light up via the dynamic lighting in the game. So I might just leave a sign out, honestly. I do end up messing with some ideas for benches. I want to have the people sit, and I want to have actual places to eat. But I'm going to head into the real time so you can see what that looks like. Hey guys, we're back in real time, and this is what I've made so far. I wanted this to be a candy shop, and it's advertised as a candy shop, but in reality, it's a balloon store. I know it's a letdown, but you gotta do what you gotta do. The inside is just an empty shell right now. I don't think I'm actually gonna add anything in here because you don't see it from the outside, so I don't really I don't think it really matters what's on the inside. I did get ahead of myself, and I made something behind the wall that will actually come out in a later video. I worked on it tonight a lot. I've actually really liking the way this is turning out. I think I'm going to put in probably like a plaza right here, maybe a garden or something, or actually what would be a pretty cool idea is an amphitheater where people can watch, and there will be like a stage down here or down here. But what I'm actually planning on doing is, if you see, what path did I use for this? Was it this one? Yep. But what I'm really looking to do is take a flat roof, probably I'll experiment with this, probably the rough concrete roof, but I can put this right out here, and because there's not many curves, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. And I can go let's just take this brick for now. And you probably already know what I'm doing. When I put the water back in, it just kind of looks like it's more man-made, more of a man-made lake than not. So of course on the other side or around here I can have like a hotel or something, maybe over here, and have a lake. But on the park side I can make it look like it's actually a man-made lake. And then what I plan on actually doing is, if I have a hotel over here on this side of the river or the lake, on the other side I'll probably set up a coaster somewhere in the corner, and I might do a light show like all across the whole park with the different trees lighting up and everything. I could possibly even do it to music. Would be pretty difficult, but I think it would be pretty cool how it would look in the end, because I actually think the music syncs up in the park. So if I like if I were to start whatever. If I were to start this coaster and I had it on, like, let's say just any song, like I started on an Aerosmith song or something, I don't know. Basically all of the music with that actual MP3 or whatever you're using in the park will restart to match the coaster. So I could just have the coaster play whatever song I want to be played all over these park speakers, and then I could have it so it syncs up, which I think that would be pretty cool. It would be a pretty big project, but I think that would really set this park away from the rest. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked it, and I hope you think that my channel is improving. I'm definitely starting to get a little bit better at this, and I really hope that I will be very good by the end of the month. And I'm learning a lot by this, actually. Someone gave me an idea on Reddit that I used that actually helped this video be a lot better than what it would have been. So thank you guys. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe.